Welcome to the Real News Network. I'm Sharmini Peiris.
I'm Aaron Mate.
I'm Dharna Noor.
My name is Easy Jackson.
This is Taya Graham and Stephen Janis.
I'm Jessel Noor.
I'm Paul Jay in Baltimore.
We're here in front of the Greek Parliament where a very large crowd is gathering.
The site of the unrest 1 year ago after Freddie Gray was killed in police custody.
We're here in the town of Westminster, Maryland.
Manchester, New Hampshire for the primaries of the Democratic Party.
Washington, D.C. at the National Press Club.
The Women's March on Washington.
We are here in Chi-Town, Chicago.
Live from Ferguson, Missouri.
Coming to you from Athens.
Coming to you from Capitol Hill. I'm Kayla Rivara, and this is the Real News of the Day.
We're not just doing the news because we want to understand. We're doing it because we want to make a difference. We want to make real change. We don't want to live in a world of perpetual war, chronic poverty, eroding living standards, and climate disasters. We realize that if we're going to make a real change, we need to talk to the people that need the change the most, and that's ordinary working people. That's why we're based here in Baltimore.
The main idea of the name The Real News is that there's an objective world where economic interests dominate.
You look at a police department, their primary mission is to protect wealth and property.
They think that they can do what they want to do, and the citizens have lost confidence.
I want to get back to
But our role isn't just to report and expose. We go beyond critique and strive to answer the question, what are effective solutions?
When we covered the Baltimore protests against the murder of Freddie Gray and systemic police abuse, we said that the real problem was not just a few racist cops, but the role of police in enforcing laws that perpetuate chronic poverty and mass incarceration. Police act as a buffer between those who own stuff and those who don't. The more you own, the more you are served and protected.
We hosted a town hall in a parking lot in Gilmore Homes, the community where Freddie Gray grew up.
We decided to have a town hall meeting today.
The little white children in their neighborhoods, they got skateboard rings, playgrounds, soft cushioned mats on their courts. Our children got the concrete jungle. Then they wonder why they so hard and so disrespectful. They don't have nothing to respect. What the hell do they have? Nothing.
The nonprofit model of The Real News allows us to take on these issues with imagination and courage. We can win a major share of the Baltimore City audience. And when we do, it's a game changer. We call our strategy Go Local to Go Global, because if we can do this in Baltimore, we can do it in cities across North America and even around the world.
Our plan is to develop news, analysis, and cultural programming that will break through to a Baltimore audience.
Does treating prisoners like animals actually make our community safer? That's what we're trying to find out in Rattling the Bars.
The Whole Bushel is an artist interview show where we sit down with performing artists.
We will deepen our investigative work and debate solutions in town halls held in our downtown studios.
They will be live streamed and on television.
We've opened up a restaurant and event space called Ida B's Table, named after Black American journalist, anti-lynching activist, and suffragette Ida B. Wells. We'll have cultural programming featuring local artists, which will strengthen our ties with the city of Baltimore.
Sitting in my room with the radio on, thinking how I'ma be a big star. Even though coming from the city that I'm from, people really don't make it that far.
We're sending a team to Dundalk, a mostly white, working-class suburb of Baltimore that supported Trump in the 2016 election. We'll be investigating the community's concerns and learning how to address climate change with audiences that lean conservative and are facing immediate issues like healthcare and unemployment.
I voted Republican this time around because I felt like I had no choice. But yeah, I think it's really just flat-out desperation. We are so just let down by the hypocrisy in the politics.
We will expand the Climate Crisis Bureau, expose the war on science, and report on creative and necessary solutions.
Most climate news exists in silos. It targets people who already follow the issues. But we know we need to make environmental coverage relevant to people's direct experience and show how climate change impacts public health and well-being.
We're covering everything from toxic waste dumps in Baltimore to global rising temperatures.
We produce a roundtable show called The Real Baltimore to delve into issues like housing, education, poverty, and policing, and investigate potential solutions. Our Baltimore Bureau will continue to report on the city's movements in the streets and at the ballot box, and ask tough questions of city decision makers and stakeholders.
We're building an institute that's a collaboration of investigative journalists, academics, and frontline workers like teachers and nurses and cops and community activists that will answer the question, If you ran Maryland and Baltimore in the interests of the majority of its people, what policies would you create?
It's going to be more than news. It's going to be community mobilization, community enlightenment, community morale, and really focus not just on telling people what's going on that's not very good in Baltimore, but telling them what's going on that is good, all the way to solutions for a better life for the people in this big city.
Real News is in the house, building the world house that Martin King and so many others envisioned. Please support Real News.
I'm grateful for the Real News Network for bringing true news to people and communities who need it most.
We know that this is an ambitious plan, but the times cry out for it. So please help us make real news.